Sabhaya Namaha. In India, we had lots of temples, monuments, and various types of architectures, cities, which were built on the memory of our Indian culture and tradition. It brought name and fame from the entire world. Such a huge culture and tradition were lost or destroyed or ruined in recent years, whether it may be by the Mughals invasion or Britishers ruling in India. That's why we feel very unhappy as we lost so many cities in India. For example, we can go through for Pumpuhar, especially in Tamil Nadu. It is one of the monumental city. It is built in Tamil Nadu. That was also lost due to some other reasons. Later it was rebuilt by the government with few changes. In this way, we also lost Muziris. It is 1st century BC construction in Kerala, one of the India's most important trading ports. It also we lost due to some kinds of reason that we can get in detail while I am describing the subject. In such a way, lots of temples also we lost. World's earliest dockyard at Lothal also lost by our Indians. Even Palladakkal, with its harmonious blend of Nagara and Dravidian architecture forms Pattadakkal in Karnataka, it also lost by us. Later it is rebuilt by the government of Karnataka. When we can go through like this, Kalibangan, that also we lost the city, and Vasai. It is ruins of Vasai fort. That is one of our loss. Another, Dholavira citadel ruins at Dholavira. This is one of the famous city what we lost. Even from Indus Valley civilization, due to some disturbances from nature, disasters also, we lost some important cities in India. Even Malayambadi Narasimhan temple also we lost, which is built in Kerala, especially Malappuram district. It is one of the famous Hindu deity called Narasimha Swami. Later it is restored due with some sort of changes. Like this, Vanyanur Subramanya Swami temple also we lost in the list of cities, lost cities. It is from Tirur, also say from Kerala. When we come across so many monuments which were lost by us, especially from the city Kerala, maximum. These reputed cities, as we lost our heart like. However, these cities were very much useful for the citizens of not only India, even today abroad. Today, I chose the topic of lost cities of India because we are not losing one. Due to some natural calamities, we lost so many from the time of Indus Valley civilization. When we come across to know these details in description, really it will make us to feel unhappy. That's because not an ordinary one. It is one of the unity symbol of Indian tradition and Indian culture which attained worldwide fame. Today, I took the topic of lost cities of India. Let us go in detail. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanamavaranane. Like human, cities are also mortal. They are born, they thrive, and they eventually die. Over the course of human history, an astonishing number of cities and towns have been lost or destroyed or submerged or abandoned by us. The mysterious and the often beautiful ruins of these lost cities have sparked the imaginations of millions of travelers, history buffs, and treasure seekers all across the world. If you are in the mood for a little exploration along the trails of former civilization, here are some of India's most spectacular lost cities. From the lost city of Pumpuhar to Pattadakkal, these inspiring ruins will surely fuel your curiosity. Let us go in detail. First, let us come for Pumpuhar. Once a flourishing ancient port city known as Kaveri Pumpattinam, Pumpuhar served as a capital of the early Chola kings for a few years. The Sangam era epics of Tamil literature, what are they? Silappadikaram and Manimekalai, extol and herald the city and the life of its people in detail. Located at the mouth of the Kaveri river, it is believed that much of the town was washed away by a powerful sea storm and the successive erosion it caused during 500 AD. In 2006, the National Institution of Ocean Technology educated some underwater surveys that revealed the submerged remains of the ancient port city. See, what's a pathetic one? Is it not? A must see on a visit to Pumpuhar is a beautiful 13th century Masilamani Nadar Koil temple. Though heavily eroded by the sea in a number of places, the seaside temple's unique combination of Chinese and Tamil architecture gives visitors a glimpse of another time. Now let us come for another city is called Hampi. The capital of the famed Vijayanagara Empire from 1336 to 1565. Hampi was ruled by four dynasties: Sangam dynasty, Shalva, Tuluva, and Aravidu. The princes of these dynasties built more than 500 monuments which won the admiration of ancient travelers. Conquered by the Deccan Muslim Confederacy in 1565, the city was pillaged over a period of 6 months before being abandoned. Hampi's spectacular setting is dominated by the mighty Tungabhadra river. Craggy hill ranges with precariously perched boulders and miles of undulating terrain carpeted in lush green palm groves, banana plantains, and paddy fields. Due to Kaveri river, these crops are very common in that area. The Hampi Utsav, also as Vijaya Utsav, is a cultural event organized here by the Karnataka government in January every year, each and every year. The festival of Purandaradasa Aradhana, also conducted at the Vittala temple in the months of January or February, is also famous at Hampi. It is celebrated to honor the poet composer Purandaradasa. Let us go for third one, Muziris. Keeltali Shiva temple in Muziris. In the 1st century BC, Muziris in Kerala was one of the India's most important trading ports. Nowadays people might have not known, present generation, whose exports, especially black pepper, and kept even mighty Rome in debt. The Roman author Pliny, in his book Natural History, called Muziris the first emporium of India. According to the Akananur, a collection of Tamil poetry from the period, it was city where the beautiful vessels, the masterpieces of the Yavanas, mean foreign traders, stir white foam on the Periyar river of Kerala, arriving with gold and departing with pepper. Tucked away in the tiny bylines of Kerala's Kodungallur town, it's easy to miss the Muziris Heritage Project, one of India's biggest archaeological findings. Also known as the Pattanam excavations, the project was found conclusive evidence of that what was once a flourishing trade port on the spice route. It has also found several monuments and religious sites that date back to the ancient era, especially in India. Now come to the fourth city, Lodhal. What is this? World's earliest dockyard at Lodhal. A vital and thriving trade center of the Indus Valley civilization, Lodhal had the world's earliest known dockyard, spanning an area of 37 meters from east to west and nearly 22 meters from Sabarmati River, which was the trade route between Harappan cities in Sindhu and Saurashtra Peninsula. In those days, the surrounding Kutch desert of today was a part of the Arabian Sea. One of the India's most important archaeological sites from the Indus Valley civilization, Lodhal, was discovered in the year 1954 and was excavated between 1955 and 1960 by the Archaeological Society of India. Simply that is called ASI. Now we come for the fifth city, Palladakkal. With its harmonious blend of Nagara and Dravidian architectural forms, Palladakkal in Karnataka represents the high point of the eclectic style of art that developed under the Chalukya dynasty. The UNESCO World Heritage Site, located on the banks of river Malaprabha, has a stunning complex of several 8th century Shiva temples and Jain sanctuary. One masterpiece that stands out from this group is the temple of Virupaksha, built by Queen Loka Mahadevi to commemorate here her husband's victory over the Pallava kings of Kanchi. The government of Karnataka organizes the Virupaksha Temple Festival, the Mallikarjuna Temple Festival, and the Chalukya Utsavu, a 3-day dance festival. Amidst the stunning sandstone ruins of Palladakkal every year. Now, sixth city, Kalibangan or Kalibangan, fire altars of Kalibangan. A settlement of the Indus Valley civilization, Kalibangan was unearthed back in 1962 by Mr. Ghosh of the Archaeological Survey of India. Kalibangan, which literally means black bangles, lies along the left bank of the dried up bed of river Gaggar in Rajasthan. Other than giving the evidence of the earliest plowed agricultural field ever revealed through an excavation, Kalibangan also has several fire altars which suggest that the Harappans believed in the ritualistic worship of fire. The Archaeological Museum of Kalibangan was set up in 1983 to house the excavated find from the Harappan site. The exhibits in the galleries include Harappan seals, bangles, terracotta objects, terracotta figurines, bricks, grinders, and stone bells. Now, let us come for seventh city, Vasai, ruins of Vasai Fort. The Portuguese named it Bakain. The Marathas renamed it Basipur. The British named it Basain, and today it is called Vasai. Gradually, the name is changed to Vasai. When the Portuguese arrived, the ancient port of city Sopara was a significant trading center under the rule of Bahadur Shah, the Sultan of Gujarat. The Portuguese who took it from the Sultan expanded the fort and turned it into a vibrant port city over the next 2 centuries, next in importance only to their headquarters in Goa. With its historical churches, mosques, temples, tiny villages, beautiful beaches, hot water springs, and even a replica of the Sanchi Stupa, Vasa is a magnificent microcosm of Mumbai's history. Interestingly, may popular international songs like the Hymn for the Weekend by British band Coldplay and Lean On by EDM group Major Lazer have been shot at Vasai as usual. Now, 8. Dholavira, citadel ruins at Dholavira. Dholavira is located in the Kadir island of the Ran of Kutch. It is one of the 5 largest Harappan cities in the subcontinent. Today, what is seen as a fortified quadrangular city set in harsh, arid land was once a thriving metropolis for 1200 years and had an access to the sea prior to the decrease in sea level. The water conservation system excavation at this remarkable site speaks volumes about the ingenuity of the people who developed a system of rainwater harvesting to support life and a parched landscape. Other than some of the best preserved Harappan era stone architecture, a mysterious signboard in the Indus script has also been discovered at the Dholavira. The excavation also revealed 7 significant cultural storages in the city that document the rise and the fall of Indus Valley civilization. Ayinikattu Mahavishnu Temple, that is lying in ruins at the Chalisari in Palakkad district of Kerala. The temple has a beautiful architecture. The sight of Lord Mahavishnu smiling amidst the ruins is enough for devotees to do whatever is required for restoring the temple and restarting worshipping at the temple site. Now we come for 9th one, Malayambadi Narasimha Temple. Malayambadi Narasimha Temple at Thrissur Taluka in Malappuram district of Kerala is now lying in ruins with idols of various gods lying multiplicated in the temple compound. The temple is believed to be destroyed during the raids that happened in the region. The recovery of idols with mutilations revealed that the damage is deliberate. Also, the idols were recovered from the temple well few decades back when devotees attempted renovation. The temple has a big pond which was encroached and taken over by the village panchayat and which is now used as a public pond. The size of the pond revealed that deity is Narasimha Swami in his fierce nature. An old woman of the locality now lights a lamp in the temple. The devotees of the village has been trying their best for the renovation and reservation of the temple, but was not able to due to lack of resources. Restored the ancient Sri Rama temple lying in ruins there itself. Para Sri Rama temple in Pattitara Panchayat in Palakkad, Kerala was destroyed during the invasion of Kerala by Tipu Sultan. The idol of Lord Sri Ram is now found cut into pieces. What a bad. Ugra Narasimha Charitable Trust has undertaken to restore this ancient temple and revive worship of Lord Sri Rama. The people of the village has been praying for decades for restoring of this temple, this famous temple. The first stage is the construction of temporary Garbhagriha, where the Lord Sri Rama's idol will be shifted to during the restoration of the temple. The old Garbhagriha will be dismantled and reworked after that. The restoration of the temple will cause a revival of Dharma as all devotees and families in the village take part in the various rituals and stages involved in reviving the Sri Rama temple. Would appeal to devotees all over the world to contribute towards the restoration of the temple. We are looking to complete the project around 4 or 5 months. This temple is a part of the Reclaim Temples project in Kerala to rebuild 300 ancient Hindu heritage temples that are lying in ruins for decades and centuries. We believe the project will strengthen the society and belong their social, economic, and cultural prosperity. Vaniyanur Subramanya Swami Temple. It is one of the famous temple in the same place. The temple remains are located at Vaniyanur in Cheriyamundam Panchayat in Tirur, Malappuram district of Kerala. As per the villagers, the temple is believed to be at least 1,000 years old, not an ordinary, and was ransacked during the Mysorean invasion of Kerala. Same it is also by Tipu Sultan and co. It was also destroyed completely during the riots of 1921 and has been lying in disuse, ruins, and abandoned since then. The temple revival started on 11th January 2018 with Swami Bharati Maharaj of Bhuvaneshwari Ashramam lighting the lamp and restarting the pujas. Now it gradually increasing the devotees to come and worship the deity Subramanya Swami temple. The temple was vandalized the same night by unknown persons, but devotees of the locality made sure that worship was not affected the temple. See, what is the unity of the village people to restore, to save our ancient monuments and temples. Revival of Maghamaka Mahotsava. Maghamaka Mahotsava is the oldest river festival of Kerala that is held on the banks of Bharatpuzha river of Kerala. The festival is closely intertwined with the history of Kerala and its Vedic roots. Especially the people of Kerala is so orthodox. Even today, they never miss their customs and their duties. That is a deep devotion, dedication towards their temples. For centuries, the right for conduct of the festival rested with the kings who ruled Kerala. However, the festival abruptly stopped in the year 1766 AD due to the invasion of Hyder Ali and the later Tipu Sultan. These people were maximum ruined Kerala city and our valuable monuments and temples. Oral History Research Foundation and Ugra Narasimha Charitable Trust restarted the festival in the year 2019. That means the last before year. In an attempt to revive the lost traditions and culture. The festival to be conducted on the banks of Bharatpuzha river in Tirunavya, Tavanur villages in Malappuram, Kerala in the year 2020, means last year, is a continuation of these efforts. Rakhi Gharhi, predating most of the famous cities of the Indus Valley civilization, Rakhi Gharhi is one of the oldest and one of the largest settlements of that era. However, much like other cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, paved roads, drainage system, terracotta bricks, statue production, and skilled application of bronze and precious metals were found at the excavated site. Challisari in Palakkad district of Kerala is a region that was ravaged during the Mysorean invasion of Kerala. Kilakke Pattisari Prani Mahadeva temple is one of the ancient many temples that is lying in the ruins in that region. See how pathetic. Shivalinga is intact, but all the structures including the Garbhagriha, means Sanctum Sanctorum, that means Moolavira, is in ruins and has to be restored. A lamp is lighted every day by devotees of the temple, even today. The devotees has been trained for more than a decade to restore the temple, but could not do it for a lack of financial or other support, political, whatever the support. Ugra Narasimha Charitable Trust has therefore undertaken to rebuild this ancient Shiva temple. The restoration of the temple started with the strengthening the temporary roof so that work can happen even during the rains. The first stage in the construction of the temporary Garbhagriha, where the Shivalinga will be shifted to during the restoration of the temple. The old Garbhagriha will be dismantled and also reworked after that. The restoration of the temple will cause a revival of Dharma as all devotees and families in that village take part in the various rituals and stages involved in reviving the Shiva temple. we can say some more, but lack of time. Thus, we lost so many temples and monuments in India. So we have to regret for that. As per as concern, we have, if we find the such reconstruction, let us freely offer our donations to rebuild our culture and tradition. श्रीकांताय कल्याण नदे नदेद्राम श्रीवेंकटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम मंगलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्य पुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यै सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम्.